Hello everybody, how you doing? Sedrik and Sidra here. This is CRWC commentary, and we will be going over a comment by, I have to say, one of the most astute beings on planet Earth. That'd be Zemo X2, because he's like a rogue scholar and stuff like that, and you gotta respect it. Okay. In all honesty, we really enjoy his comments. And, he sometimes educates us on things and kind of gets my brain spinning. And I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't think of it that way. And certain things like that. So I always appreciate his comments and anyone's comments, in general, and look, if you want to be a hater and just say some old mean stuff, try to make it make sense, because if we comment on it, I'd like for it to at least make a little sense or something, Mm-hmm. So here I'm going to read what he says, and he goes. So he starts off, because this is following the commentary that CRWC, Sedrik and Sidra talk about MJF and AEW. So he says, okay, Cage is great. He should have stayed on Impact. Well, in Impact, but that doesn't mean he sucks. And that's true. I don't know. I can't remember what we must have said, but Cage was just an instant classic. I mean, he gave himself that name, but he lived up to it. He is in his 40s and he still got it. Yep. The problem is AEW is making him look bad, which is true. AEW makes great wrestlers look bad regardless of age. And that is very true. Tony doesn't know how to book anyone unless they're a member of the elite. Honestly, even then he don't, because the truth is he don't necessarily book. That's what my assumption is. He don't necessarily book at all. He says, this is why I wish Tony would just hire an experienced booker and let them book AEW and Ring of Honor, especially Ring of Honor. Which is true. Could have got Delirious back on there. Let's see. He goes, here's another example. Lance Archer. And this is the same. I was like, oh man, Lance Archer. I love me some Lance Archer. Love me some Lance Archer. He says the man has been severely underutilized. He should be destroying people and winning belts, not sitting on his hands, which is true. Mm-hmm. Which is true. He says, and man, you guys really hate indie wrestling, don't you? I don't hate indie wrestling, but I can definitely see the flaws in indie wrestling. He says, MJF is great, but honestly, I am getting a little tired of people praising him. It just gets old. Do not get me wrong. I like him and he is talented, but from what I keep hearing, people make him out as the only wrestler worth following and burying or overlooking other great wrestlers. It is like they think he is just the only guy who gets the business, and that's not true at all. True, there are some wrestlers who suck, Sammy G, but there are great wrestlers who are being overlooked and underutilized while overrated guys get attention. I can agree to that. I'd rather MJF stay in AEW than go to WWE, because they will waste him, which is definitely true. And I hate to end things on a tragic note, but sad news, Iron Sheik has passed away. Rip Iron Sheik. Or rest in peace, Iron Sheik. There's a lot to unpack. Is there anything you want to go over, Sidra, or?
No, I'm gonna let you take it, and now follow your lead.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like I say, Zemo makes great points. Christian Cage is somebody that knows what to do, but here's the scary part about Christian Cage. Yeah, it's all about how the company uses somebody. Impact, TNA back in the day, when he went there, yeah, I know what the issue is, or at least what it seems like it should be. Christian, he got there, built himself up, and he had NWA style title matches. That was beautiful. Loved it. But something happened. There was Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Sting, Abyss. There was, I think, Hall and Nash. I don't think Hogan had gotten there yet. But Christian wasn't being utilized to have the great matches, even though a lot of those matches he was leading and then being led, but TNA wasn't growing. He's working the same small venues over and over. Nothing was changing at all. Nothing. There was no growth, no financial growth, no legacy growth, no company growth, no personal growth. There was just no growth. And you realize, wow, I'm the greatest thing going, but no one cares that nothing else is going. Where's TNA going? Just stuck on the same channel, not branching out, not trying to do anything. He left. And they made a shoot argument live on air. You go back to WWF, well, you go back to that other company, and the best you'll ever be is a mid-card comedy act. And when they said that, at real time, I flashed to everything Christian was doing, and it was nothing that you could take serious. So they sort of jumped him out of TNA, and then he shows up on WWE, and then he has a few matches with the Intercontinental title and stuck as mid-card and making mockery of people and insulting them. Was not destined for greatness by any means. And something tells me those words that foretold his future by his plans, what would happen. Something tells me he was like, you know what? I got to get out of WWF. I got to go. Well, WWE, got to get out of it. And so, yeah, he was gone. Took a little bit, but then he shows up AEW. And, well, Tony Khan used him for what he was always displayed as. A mid-card guy insulting people. Christian carries himself like, big cheese. Christian also, at the same time of AEW, was on Impact Wrestling, where he was a champion there, got injured, and AEW couldn't even have the decency to say during an Impact show, because they do have some working relationship with Impact, on the Impact show, he suffered an injury, or working out, he suffered an injury that is hindering his performance. He's going to be out for a while. It could, whichever it happened, acknowledge it. I mean, AEW has no problem burying the wrestling business, and they won't tell you how somebody got injured. I mean, we can screw up the injury, the industry, but we can't expose the injury. That sounds stupid, but that's what they do. So Zemo, he's got great points. Christian Cage is, really good. He's damn good. And they got him working with Luchasaurus, who, well, Jungle Boy said he's the only one I'm going to let work my matches. So, I mean, what do you do? What do you do? You can't elevate Christian. He's a heel. And Tony Khan, the way he sees it, is that there can only be one number one heel. So Christian won't get elevated. Christian should be in the second spot. Only because MJF is their world champion. That's it. But MJF, as great as he is, he's not there with Christian Cage. He ain't on that level. He's damn close. MJF is so close. So, in all honesty, what Tony Khan would do, well, you got to get things rolling. You can't do. He would put him as a tag team, put him in a stable with other top heels, and fight one person. I get it. You know, stables are cool. I get it. But
I get tiresome.
They're only tiresome when you don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it. You know, you don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it. For a case in point, when it comes to stables, Davari, who Trustbusters, he's in that, and he's in another stable. He's in two different stables on the same show. I forgot what the other one he's a part of. But
the Trustbusters and the varsity athletes?
Yes, that group, the varsity athletes.
Yeah, with Smart Mark and Tony Nese.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nese and his partner Woods.
Josh Woods. Poor Josh Woods.
They both should be a tag team outside of this with their own designated colors and just having great matches. Both of them are really good. They are damn good. They know what they're doing in that ring. But you can't have the premier athlete, the technical beast, being jobbing flunkies. That's just gross. So, AEW, yeah. They literally, let's get some top talent and bury them. Why? Because people want to hold on to their spot. That would be the elite. They can't hold on to their spot. Every time, just think about it. And I know Zemo, you know this. I know you know this. Every time a person or a team begins to get noticed and climb in popularity, they are not on the program anymore. They're gone. They're gone for a while, cooled off. No one knows. No one cares. Then bring them back. Bring them back to job out or just have this is a grudge match. This is a dream match. Like, really? How? What brought this up? They were arguing on Twitter. Man, I'm not watching Twitter. Like, Twitter ain't my TV show.
No.
Twitter ain't my TV show. You know, for people that go to Twitter and follow people because they got nothing else going on in their life, that's literally how it has to be. You have so little going on in your life that you can, Twitter is like finding a needle in a needle stack when you're trying to find the right thing. It ain't easy. But if you know how to work it, which these experts do, you know, okay, they can find it, but to your casual viewer, they're not going to find anything. Hey, I want to know the latest feud going on with AEW. Who's in the latest feud? How do you find that when nothing's been presented on TV to show it? And then all of a sudden it just sparks up on TV. Hey, this feud is happening. And it started on Twitter. Okay, but you're not going to show any tweets. You're not going to reread any tweets of what's been going on. And we just supposed to be emotionally invested into a match that we don't even know why it's taking place. That's just stupid. It's just stupid. So yeah. And so, okay. Now I'm gonna have to do this. I think I do this every time, Zemo times to have he gotta bring it up. He says we hate indie wrestling. It's interrogative, but it's rhetorically interrogative.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, I don't know if you understand this because I don't know. I legitimately don't know. So I'm going to throw it out there because this is my position. Because if you're going to love indie wrestling, what's your position on loving it? You know, indie wrestling would be great if they used it properly, but indie wrestling, it should be independent wrestling. Simply meaning that it's not on national TV or on statewide TV. All right. That's how it should be. That's what indie wrestling should be. Territories come to your living room screen. That's how it should be. Various promotions, people out there, go ahead. Hey, we tune in, we watch, yada, yada, yada. All right. But they can't get that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because indie wrestling, and this is why I don't like it. This is derogatory, but please hear me out. They are free-range children with zero discipline, no accountability, and don't know what they are doing.
And it shows.
That's why I don't like indie wrestling. You watch an indie show, they do every move under the sun, ignore damage, don't sell, and any talent that is like awesome and they know what they're doing, they can sell, they can work, they can do all of that. They know what they're doing. Working is a very detailed thing. Basically, a great worker is like somebody that's going to build your home. They have to know exactly what they're doing, when they're going to do it, how to piece it together. That's a great worker. A great worker ain't somebody that know how to just take bumps or have a decent promo. I'm not accusing you of anything, Zemo. I'm just trying to educate anybody that hear this. Anybody. And I want to explain my stance on it and why I think and feel and whatnot the way I do. So these people, these youngsters, and sometimes people that should be veterans, they get in there and they just desecrate everything that they've already buried in wrestling. Damage should mean something. A body slam should mean something. An arm drag should mean something. Everything you do needs to mean something in that ring. It needs to mean something. You are educating your audience on what does it take to defeat this wrestler? What does it take for this wrestler to get hurt enough to be beat? What is in their repertoire that would certainly overcome adverse obstacles and things like that? If they get beat down, do they show it? How do they show it? Things like that. They don't do in indie wrestling. In indie wrestling, it's pile driver. Let me slap on an armbar. Michinoku driver. That's a great setup for an elbow drop. They treat legit finishing moves like they're regular, ordinary bumps. If I'm on the street and I'm fighting someone and I can somehow manage to put them in a pile driver, they ain't getting up. And they're probably going to die. But in wrestling, where we know this, they do their best to protect each other. Yeah, we did that. That's also a work. But they should also understand, I just got dropped on my dome. Getting up ain't happening. And if I kick out, moving isn't going to happen. You ain't going to kick out, get up, and then start doing hurricanranas. That's not happening. Indie wrestling should be by the promoter, who should be like the grandfather of all of them, and just say, hey, you go out there, you put that brain buster on, you don't pick them up, and you don't kick out, and you don't let them kick out. If you ain't going to win with that type of devastating move, you don't do it. We need the fans, the audience, to know when somebody does a devastating move like that, that's it. Game over. Yeah, but you know what, man? Like, there's so much I can do. Like, you know, we're trying to put this together. We're trying to get the crowd behind us. You know, you want to get that pop, that this is awesome pop. You know, how are you going to get that if you're wrestling for like 5 minutes and then, you know, you pin them? It's like, okay, then learn to work. Hip toss, arm drag, slap on a headlock for a second. You know, a side headlock, a headlock takedown, hold it, fight out of it. Don't stop moving. You know, if you're the heel, you get punched a few times, Fall out the ring. Collect yourself. You know, something. There's too much that you can do. You know, it's like you go in, you do a little wrestling for about 30 seconds, dive. It's undisciplined. What's the point of that dive? People, and look, I'm sure anyone can understand this. You're going to start watching what? Wrestling. Watch AEW. Just watch it. People start watching wrestling and they start waiting for the next big move. That's a big difference. Indie wrestling is all about the next big move. And the match is over. You know, it's a roll up. There's no build up to it. It's the roll up. It's over. You know, Michinoku driver, pick him up. Tombstone pile driver, elbow drop off the top rope. The guy kicks out on 2. A bunch of kick out on 2. And then you got those that like to do the roll around, the chimpanzee roll around, pinning each other. And then they kick out of all of those and get up and then back and forth. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And it looks sloppy and crappy and phony. And then they go into another spot and then they fall out and rest for a little bit. Then somebody's going to nip up because everyone has to do a nip up or kip up. Somebody's got to do it. Every single match is going to have one. And then they go back to fighting and doing some other stuff. And then out of nowhere, a small package or a victory roll or something. There's no discipline. There's nothing. You know, there's nothing going on. So that's what I'm trying to get at with indie wrestling. You know, that's, I think I've said enough. I really do.
Let me say this. Indie wrestling. So, on a product like AEW, you would want to have a better caliber of what you're showing to people, especially with them paying as much for tickets as they are to come see you. And it just looks bad. They look like they're out there being paid $25 to go out there and kill themselves. Everything that Goon does looks bad. Nothing makes any sense. It's just who can flip until someone decides to pin. And it's boring. You don't have any kind of personal investment in anything that happens. You don't really care one way or another what happens to any of the wrestlers. There's no such thing as having a favorite wrestler anymore, or anybody that you actually want to sit down to see what they're going to say, do, wrestle, win, lose that week. It's not there. You know, just because we're not children doesn't mean we can't feel that way. And it's just definitely not there. And it makes it so boring. I'm sure the people sitting in the stands watching the show who paid $200 for their tickets wishing they could hit the fast forward button. And that's sad.
It's real sad.
And about Christian Cage, yes, he can wrestle. Let's get that out there in the open. Do I care to see him? No. I don't even really care to hear him talk, and I don't really care to see his face either. And I don't understand why he's going to walk in with his monster, and then he's going to get a title shot.
Ultimate heel.
I mean, yeah, I'm getting the title shot. Well, I don't want Luchasaurus to get it either. But it's like you just came back with, you know, your elbows being held together by hope and duct tape, and now you want a title shot. Nah, man, you hadn't been here. You got to go and beat up on somebody else.
But see, it flows though. He can just come back and get a shot because that's all they've ever done in wrestling. That's what they do. And then we're gonna see who the number one contender is. Really, you just pick a number one contender? How did you do that? We want him to go for the belt, so we're going to have this match, and it's for the number one contender. So you got this guy that ain't been on the radar in a minute that's going to be going against somebody who's never been on the radar, and that's going to be the number one contender, whoever wins that. And you're just going to skirt over everybody else that everyone loves for these two to be a number one contender for a belt that we know that they can't win because the person just won it. That's what every company does. You know, and that right there, that was one of the reasons that led me to know that wrestling, something's phony about it.
Something not right. And see, okay, if he is going to waltz in and get the title shot or take the title shot, because, you know, that's basically what he did, he could have at least come in and out-wrestled him. But he didn't do that. He came in and they had a ladders match.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And they had a ladder match because that's what Christian and Edge and the Hardys were famous for. That's what they were famous for. And because that's what they was famous for, every time Christian comes back and have a match, that Tony Khan's going to push that. Christian, at one point, stated he don't want to have ladder matches. He don't really care for them. But you're going to do what the boss tell you. And Christian ain't up there with the others. Now, Christian might have actually said, hey, I want the ladder match. Hey. I can teach, because this is what this company is about.
Yeah.
He might have wanted it.
He might have.
You know, I don't know. I know it happened. I know that was the dumbest thing to do. I'm like, this is Wardlow. Work with him. You know, it don't.
He needs somebody to work with him.
In real life, it don't take much to pick up a ladder, jam that into somebody's head, knock them out.
And get it, yeah. Climb and get the belt.
Match over, 15 seconds.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Grab him, throw him outside the ring, pick him up, slam his head into the side of the ladder. Oh my goodness, he's crumpled. Yep, get the ladder, slam it down on their head. He ain't getting up, maybe forever. Get in the ring, get the belt. There we go. Mm-hmm. That some things, you know.
You know, if he had chosen to do a wrestling match, he could have worked with Lord Wardlow, and maybe Wardlow would have learned something because he needs some sort of help.
Yep. Because MJF ain't there to lead him through a match.
He just doesn't convince me. He don't convince me when he wrestle. He don't convince me when he talk. He screws up the validity of his Powerbomb Symphony. You
just don't what?
I don't buy it.
Working with Arn Anderson is not looking well at first with that ladder match, but I would say the Wednesday after that, he cut a really good promo. Anderson must have been coaching him or something, because he did a really good promo. I hope it can stay that great.
He needs the coaching to pace himself. And stop blowing himself up.
Yes, he do. Pace yourself. Get it things up. But then the problem is the crowd has been educated on what's going to happen with Wardlow. So they want things to happen right here, right now, and fast. They want that instant gratification. Wrestling on the indie circuit, that's what it is. It's a lot of instant gratification on big moves. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, they've been taught that it's Burger King. They want it their way.
We haven't seen Dynamite this week, and I think we should take a gander at it. I think we should, crane our necks and take a look at Dynamite. Yeah, it's a 2-hour program, but we'll probably be skipping a lot of stuff anyway.
We usually do.
And honestly, I don't cover AEW like others do because it's going to be hard to say anything good about it. That's just it. It's going to be really hard to say good things.
Especially if they start with a damn Orange Cassidy match.
I don't even watch the matches. I just listen for the story. I'm usually doing something on the computer and I'm listening to the commentary, which a third of it I am angry with because it's insulting. And, Taz, he does a good deal. Jim Ross does a good deal. Shivani, when he's teaming with Taz or Ross, can do a good deal. That'd be good. Wardlow, I want to like him. So I'm still having hope. Maybe under the tutelage of Arn Anderson, he will learn something. Because Arn had to learn. Then Arn became a ring general. Ric Flair versus Arn Anderson, that was a great match. Okay? It was a damn great match. I think I still got that on VHS somewhere boxed up in the closet.
Probably.
I probably got it. Depends on when it happened, if I was able to even order it and stuff. Because back then, how much a pay-per-view was back then, everybody? You want to know how much it was? $29.99. That was it. Sometimes $19.99, depending upon the pay-per-view. Great American Bash was $29.99. Stuff like Spring Stampede was $19.99. Let's see, Capital Combat 90, that was grief. I think that one was $15. I think.
Is that the one where they went to South Korea?
No, that was Collision in Korea.
Oh, okay.
That one, didn't pay much for that one. I think that was $29.99. Now, granted, back then I'm a kid and I don't have the absolute concept of money, but I felt that it was expensive. So if I got a pay-per-view, I would explain why I want it. I'll be like up and down, who's on that card? Why is this important for me to see? You know, and all this. I was able to tell my parents a lot of stuff and they just be like, all right, because I didn't ask for much. I just wanted to see my wrestling every few months. That's what I wanted. See that grand stage. So I got hope for Wardlow. I really do. I really do.
I just wish I would.
He just get to be with the right person.
He's got to learn pacing.
And to utilize his strength only when need to, and then do certain moves only when needed. Don't show those diving moves on regular TV. That's pay-per-view quality stuff.
And if you need some help understanding what I'm saying about Wardlow, take Wardlow and his in-ring performance and line it up next to Hobbs and his in-ring performance. They're both big dudes. But who gives you a better wrestling match?
Yep. Hobbs is more convincing.
Yes, he is.
Hobbs getting that ring, but he's only convincing until he's got to wrestle one of their darlings, which, you know, it could be Ray Phoenix or anybody else.
But that's not on him.
No, it's not, and he's got to work with it, and it makes him look stupid. It makes him look weak. Yeah. When I say stupid, I don't mean he looks bad in the ring. I mean, it makes him look like he hasn't got a thought in his brain.
Yeah.
There's a little part of the wrestler, especially the heel. The heel must look like the most intelligent person in that ring, because the babyface has to overcome that adversity. That's what people are missing. And then if the heel is trying to become a clever heel, then that babyface has to look like he's always outwitting him. And then the heel can eventually get something in and screw the babyface out of something, or at least attempt to, but then it gets turned on him and then he's beaten. That's psychology. And it's like you're trying, but like someone like MJF or Bryan Danielson, if he was, anyway, they could say, hey, look, you're trying. Let me show you something. Come with me. And they go off scene. And it's like, well, what is it going to teach him? I thought we'd have somebody back there. You know, do we got somebody that can eavesdrop or something? You know, somebody that can get the microphone, get him back there. And then later, we couldn't get anyone back there. The door's closed. We don't know what they're talking about. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, wow. That was further. How can I come up with that? I'm not getting paid $100,000+ a year to do absolutely nothing. I came up with that right there. But hey.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Zemo, yeah, I understand you not liking MJF like everyone else. Here's the deal. Here's the deal with MJF. He's one of the realest heels in the company. He knows how to push the buttons. He has everything. He's got the promo skills, in-ring work. He's got the pacing. He's got all of that. And as I said in my last podcast upload, watch Double or Nothing. Watch that main event. Go ahead and watch it. Because as I said, hey, he didn't want to get that on him.
Nope.
He didn't want to get in that on him.
He was barely in there for the silly reindeer games.
And that's how and I'm amazed that Jim Cornette didn't pick up on that. I'm amazed that K100 didn't even notice that. I don't understand. I don't know how they missed it. Because, you know, they're veterans in this. Like, okay, let me explain. Jim Cornette, Conan, Disco Inferno, all right? Those are the ones that teach the ring generals what else they can do.
Yeah.
The ring generals teach the upcomers what they can do to become a ring general. You know? Those guys, Cornette and them, they are the admirals. Okay, you may dislike and outright hate some, a little bit, or maybe almost everything that they got to say. But if you listen and you're an inspiring pro wrestler, they'll tell you what to do. There's this guy, he was wrestling in SWE. I don't remember his name, my bad. But he had put out a statement on Twitter. I saw it. And he said, I'm not going to go to a lot of promotions because I'm a professional wrestler and I take myself seriously. And you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. This ain't a woe is me thing. This is, I acknowledge this stuff. In school, outside of school, people don't want to pay attention to me. They don't want to hear anything I got to say because what I say challenges their preconceived notions on how things are. And since I vehemently come out in defense or anti-something, it's going to rub them the wrong way. It could be the cadence of my voice, the fact that my voice says that I'm not, if you can see me circling my face with the palm of my hand, I'm not like them. They're going to be like, I don't really have a care about what this guy got to say. There's so many things that somebody will use to invalidate somebody. So I'm on the outside constantly, always on the outside. And if not for someone like Zemo, I wouldn't even know if what I said registered with anyone on this planet. That's why I'm always catering towards Zemo and honestly anyone else that posts a comment on something that I got to say. You know, I don't want to post and upload anything that people are going to outright. No, I don't want that. I want, hey, why don't you talk about this? What are your thoughts on this? Because these other people, these talented people, their audience asks them those questions. Mm-hmm. They don't ask me that. It's almost like they listen to me so they can have something to hate. He does video game wrestling. What does he know? I've been a fan of professional wrestling, all right, for roughly 37 years. I have been an outright mark. And even though I have seen things that thoroughly throw me into questioning what I'm watching, I love professional wrestling. I don't like AEW or indie style, because independent wrestling should be just your local, statewide, or national thing. But indie wrestling is a style. And because indie wrestling is a style, that means if you don't adhere to that style, then they don't give a damn about you. And this guy says he takes himself serious. That means he's not an indie wrestler. That means that the indie people aren't going to like him and they aren't going to favor him. That means he's got to get into a company that's trying to grow or at least stay where they are and not lose ground. So someone that takes himself seriously is going to be outcasted by people like the Elite. Kenny Omega. They homegrown trained themselves. All right. It was like The Last Dragon. I'm going to watch Bruce Lee enough to learn these moves. I know how to do Kung Fu. No, you don't. No, you do not. It ain't like that. So that's where people are. So MJF, Christian Cage, that guy I mentioned, and anyone like that, anyone that takes themselves serious as a professional wrestler, that is where they are. This whole CM Punk thing is based solely on he takes himself as a serious wrestler and he is trying to run a business, the business of CM Punk, the business of advertising CM Punk, the business of let's elevate this company so this company can make more money by bringing in more fans and various fans. And that interrupts indie style wrestling for the company. It pisses him off. And he came out after so many years and then months and then the final epic weeks. And then finally it was thrown in his face live on TV about his stance on things that had nothing to do with anybody else. So So he comes out and defends himself, and he just can't take it. I work with children, and how embarrassed he was by it. They could have shut up, said nothing, done nothing, and that would have been it. He says it. They know who he's talking about, but all they had to do was shut up and stay where they were. That's it. But no, I'm going to confront you and let you know that I don't like what you had to say about me. That's it. That was stupid. He got to work with children. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. And that's what set them off, because it's damn true. It is damn true. Look, you can't tell by how I'm talking, but outside of this, I'm someone that laughs and do some of the silliest, goofiest stuff in this house just to have fun, just to make myself smile.
Yep.
I'm a goof nut in that case. But when it comes to this podcast, when it comes to CR Fire Pro, when it comes to writing on Medium and all that, I take it serious. I take it serious. When dealing with someone that's not me, I respect what they have to say. I listen and admire to what they have to say so that I can comment properly on it. It's what I do. Zemo says something. Jimmy Whisper might say something. You know, if anyone out there got a comment, y'all want to talk negative about what I got to say, put it down there. If you're decent about it, I'm going to probably talk about it. And I might be like, oh, they got a point there. I got to think about things. Who knows? Who knows? You ain't going to say anything. You're not going to get anything. And you might say, I don't want anything from you. Okay. Fuck you. Fuck off. But unlike other podcasters, I'm actually trying to please the people that listen, opposed to I'm going to say this and you just deal with what I say. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not being an alpha. This is what I believe, and shut up and deal with it. I'm sure that would rub everyone the wrong way. But if I say, hey, look, here's something I'm trying to do. Ask me questions and I can comment on it, because without the listeners, there's no me. So this is a quid pro quo, back and forth. This is equal opportunity. You ask, I tell. I might ask something there and you say something in the comment section. I'll be like, oh, I didn't see that. You know? So I'm just saying, I've been nice. I haven't been a jerk, but I get no recognition. And then there was this one dude, I ain't gonna bring up his name, but he wanted me to cover, going over matches and pay-per-views and whatnot. He wanted me to be more detailed in it. And here's the thing. Not once has this dude popped up before. Not once has he ever said anything. He just show up like a fart in the wind and then be like, why don't you mention this? Why don't you mention that? I'm like, because nobody asked. Nobody wants me to talk about it. Nobody responds to anything I got to say. So how am I supposed to say something that I don't know that they, if I'm going to talk about the match, they might be like, oh, why don't you bring this up? It's like, okay, so basically what you're asking me to do is commentate the whole damn pay-per-view for you. I can do a play-by-play. I could watch any pay-per-view, any wrestling pay-per-view. I could turn it down and y'all could do a watch-along. It could be a watch-along and I could commentate the hell out of it. That's just my skill. I could commentate the hell out of it. You could be like, look at this indie match. I do a watch-along. That's what I can do that, but I'd only want to do that for those that actually give a damn to hear it, So I've tried to be out there for y'all, but nobody's going to be out here for me. That's just messed up because I put my heart into it. I legitimately do. That's why I appreciate someone like Jimmy Whisper and Zemo X2. I appreciate those that leave comments and whatnot, because it validates me putting my effort into it. Nothing more or less, And so y'all just have to understand MJF is awesome because he puts his heart into it. He's packaging MJF. He's giving the people what? Not they ask, not what they desire. He's giving them what they need to see and feel and understand professional wrestling from a professional standpoint. He's not insulting the audience. As messed up as it is, if he could go out there and say, this crowd, this town is the most piss poor, pathetic piece of crap, and I will never, ever defend my belt in front of these ruffians. But in the greatest magical place of all, Long Island, New York, I will. He gets a negative pop and they're angry, but that's just it. They're angry. They feel. And that's what he wants. That is the goal of a heel wrestler. He respects his craft. He respects what he does, and he knows what life is and how people treat each other. And I'm not gonna lie, when I watched that media scrum, MJF, I heard it. I don't think no one else heard it. Nobody else heard it. I heard heartbreak and sadness. I heard it. It's posture, it's tone, it's that look in his eye. When he said, let's be real, nobody cares about us. Mm-hmm. Go back and watch it. Go back. A trained eye, they see that. I saw it. I heard it. I didn't even get a chance to even try to, bring out, here's my analyzing tools. No, it just jumped in my face. So, why is MJF great? Because of that. A lot of people love him because they know he respects it. When you respect what you do, you don't have to do stupid stuff.
This is true.
Watch the Crockett Cup. We ain't gotten through all of it, but watch the Crockett Cup. NWA. Watch it. That. I'll be honest with you, I'm not happy with this Luchador team, but at the same time, they're getting pushed. I don't know why. But, when I see that tag team wrestling, man, the Immortals, Country Gentlemen, and all these other tag teams that are being kind of thrown together or been there like that for a while. I'm loving this stuff. Man, this is one of them things that I would probably put into my VCR back in the day, put it on the TV, and use a TV that I saved from being thrown out to play video games on. So I got that playing while I'm playing my games. And just watch it all day. Go to sleep watching it. Because this is wrestling. This is professional. Crockett Cup 2023. Awesome. It's awesome. And then finally it said on a note of the Iron Sheik. Yeah, I wish I could do a fandom memories on the Iron Sheik, but I have nothing. I saw him in WWF. I saw him there. And I saw him, but I didn't know what was going on or why. It just didn't seem, I don't know, like anything noteworthy. I didn't see him do anything. A lot of yelling, some punches, some stomps, some kicks. I remember him doing the promos, and I just didn't know. The promos were so weird. I was like, is this real? I didn't know. I just, maybe something will snap into me and I'll be like, oh, I remember this. But right now, I don't have anything. But I will say that what is stronger than his pro wrestling life are the antics outside of pro wrestling. I love you, Marty, but I told her, screw Marty. Marty not get you this stuff. Marty not get you that stuff. I got you that stuff. So Marty, she was all yelling and stuff. I give her short clothesline. She don't know how to work.
Oh my goodness.
I howled on that. Yes, I just dumbed it down, took out the swearing, but man.
It's still funny.
Sheik, you took your your test for, narcotics and whatnot, it came back positive. Yes, Sheik, very positive. Everyone should be positive. No, Sheik. No, yes, positive. That's what you want in life. Positive, no, this is not where you want to be positive. Why Sheik not want to be positive? It's stuff like that is so hilarious. I howled over that. That was hilarious. And honestly, sometimes I go back and watch those old clips because they are that funny to me. But look, we're gonna get up out of here. Now, is there something you want to say, girl?
No, I think you covered it.
I want to say thank you, Zemo ×2. And I want to say thank you to anyone else that may leave a comment. Okay? Thank you very much. And I will probably, do these, CRWC and, respond to them or whatnot. But I try to be inclusive. I try to be accepting. And if you got something negative to say, I will read it unless it's starting off real stupid. But even if you need something, your show sucks and this is why. Okay. Have at it. I want to know. I need to know. Criticism helps improve. I never tell my daughter practice makes perfect. I tell her practice makes better. That's it. Practice makes better. I don't try to rhyme it or it's got to begin with the same letter. No, it makes better. And all you can do is try to be better the next day than you were the day before.
And that's it.
And with that, y'all stay safe. Good night. See you next time.